Greetings, peoples of the interwebs. It's been like 4 months since the last time I recorded an episode of the Whatever Podcast. But welcome to episode 2, where I'm joined by my guest, Brent.
Hello.
Where we're going to be talking a lot about Elder Scrolls, because that was just kind of the topic we were like, yeah, let's talk about Elder Scrolls. First off, how'd you get into the game series?
Well, actually, I remember, so Jake here is actually my cousin. So I grew up watching him play video games most of the time. I remember I came over to the house, it probably was 10, 12 years ago. He was playing Oblivion, and I thought it was cool, so I had my dad go out and buy me a copy.
Was it Oblivion?
Well, I saw you playing Morrowind first.
Yeah, because I was going to say, that was probably the...
And I never really got into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when I saw you play Oblivion, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
So...
Which, I guess, spoilers, Morrowind was the first game that I got into. And that one kind of just happened... it was a happy accident, because remember, like...
Yeah, I like the story of how you got the game.
Because basically, what happened is, I remember, like, a friend of mine at school had mentioned the game, but I didn't really remember a whole lot about it. And then, I remember I bought some kind of, like, Lord of the Rings online game, which didn't know wouldn't work for my, like, old-ass computer that I had at the time. So then I went to GameStop I was like, well, GameStop will hopefully give me something for it. They only gave me like $25.
Which is good today.
Which, yeah, because
you can get $25 for like a new, like if I took, like the Division 2 back today, I might get $25 out of it.
And I remember, like, of course, I was bummed at the time because this is the first time that I ever like tried to return anything. Mm-hmm. And the Lord of the Rings game was like $50 or more. And again, this was when I was like 13, so like $50 was a pretty big deal for me. Because I think it was like birthday money or something like that. But anyways, so I was like, what? I'm not getting like... But I was like, whatever. It wasn't even... it was in-store credit is what they gave me.
Right, because I don't think you could get cash back then.
So basically, I was just kind of looking through the games, and I remember I saw Morrowind Game of the Year edition. So it came with like all the DLC and stuff. Mm-hmm. And first off, the cover kind of got me. Because I'm a sucker for good artwork on whether it be an album, a movie poster, or whatever.
What was the cover of Morrowind? Is it similar to the other two games?
It's basically just... actually, I'm going to pause this.
We can edit it out.
Yeah. It's actually pretty basic.
Oh, you have the game still?
Hell yeah. So that is the cover right there.
Oh, yeah, so it's similar to the other one.
Yeah.
This is...
Like, again,
it was $18.
$18. Okay,
yeah.
So, yeah, I think So I had more than enough, and so I kind of got it on a whim, so I'm like, okay. Like, a friend from school was talking about it, seemed kind of cool. And at the time, these were like...
Did you start it again?
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, I can edit that out. So.
Yeah. And so at the time, like, Morrowind... I think that, like, by this point, it had been out for maybe, like, a couple of years. Because it was the Game of the Year edition. So these graphics were still, like, amazing. And this was the first, like, full-blown, like, open-world RPG game that I ever played. So I don't think I did a single mission. I was just kind of like, what? Because basically, like, the beginning of the game, you're a prisoner like all the other games, and so I'm like, what do I do? And you're supposed to meet some guy in the city called Balmora. I didn't keep track of that. I'm just kind of like, I don't have to, like, there's nothing that, like, prevents me from not going to talk to that guy, so I'm like, I'm gonna go dungeon diving!
Also, if I remember correctly, just from videos I've watched, there were no like quest markers or anything in Morrowind. So
yep,
you
there's
kind of
no
had
quest markers, no
you had
fast
to
travel.
read.
Yeah,
yeah. So like,
I didn't know that at the
reading,
time.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't know that at the time, so I was just kind of like, I think I knew I had to talk to somebody. Didn't know what city, so I'm just kind of like, I'm just gonna go walk around exploring. And for those of you who have not played Morrowind, basically it worked like a kind of standard tabletop RPG game. So, like, if you are a, like, Khajiit rogue and you're trying to use a battle axe, good luck. But even if you're good with that skill, it's the roll of the dice. So even if you're, like, 2 feet from a mud crab with a broadsword, you might miss a couple times before you hit it. So that took a little bit of getting used to, and a lot of people who have played, like, Oblivion and Skyrim beforehand don't like Morrowind because they're like, it's shitty, like, I can't get into it because, like, the graphics and gameplay, which is understandable, but...
Which the graphics don't bother me, it's more of the whole... I mean, plus, Jake and I are in a D&D group together, we play every week. I love D&D, but I want to play D&D when I'm playing D&D.
Yeah.
If I wanted to play a game like that on it, like, I don't want to play a game like that on my Xbox.
Yeah. And again, I think that was another thing too, is like people who played, like, started off with like Oblivion or Skyrim and gone back to Morrowind, I think don't like it as much. Yeah, so Morrowind, like, I was fully immersed from the get-go. Like, I love the soundtrack. Even to this day, Morrowind and Oblivion have incredible soundtracks. Yes. And I like Skyrim a lot, too.
Has a good soundtrack,
yeah,
too.
It's, like, Jeremy Soule is an incredible composer. But and maybe it's just part of it is Skyrim's still not old enough for me. So I guess there's not as much, like, nostalgic factor
I mean, it'll be 8 years old this year?
Yeah, which is still mind-blowing that it's that old.
I remember when I got it. I was down at our grandparents' house.
Yeah.
And I went to Walmart, and I was 2011, I was 12. So, yeah, I'm a lot younger than Jake is.
I'm 87.
But yeah, so I went, the lady at the front counter asked me if I was 18. I said, or 17, I think it is. And I said, sure am. And she sold it to me. So, yep. And then I played it pretty much nonstop for a month or two. I think I got to level like 70 something. Which I have like some stupid high character now because I'm actually replaying the game as a destruction mage. I also have a Khajiit rogue as well, but the destruction mage is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I use a mod about it's the College of Winterhold immersion mod. It just kind of adds more things and. You don't have to be Archmage if you don't want to. Stuff like that. Yeah,
because that's one thing with the main quests or the guild quests in Skyrim is I feel like you progress really quick. Whereas like in the other games, like if you're in a guild, you really have to work your way up to become like the guild master or even like a decent ranked.
Which, I mean, in Oblivion, the Thieves Guild, like you have to move your way up. I think they have ranks in it.
Yeah.
And then the arena even, which is one of my favorite parts of any Elder Scrolls game is the arena in Oblivion. And I think that's like, if you win all your fights and don't lose any, it's probably like 2.5, 3 hours of gameplay.
Yeah. Of solid grinding in the arena.
Yeah. And it's totally worth it to get that adoring fan.
Oh my god. Buy Azura. Wait, here? Over here. Like, I loved and hated that guy at the same time. I remember one time
his hair, dude. Like, what?
It's ridiculous.
Like, everybody in Oblivion has normal hair, and then your adoring fan has, like, this... It's like his head's on fire.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But I remember I was playing Oblivion, and I was doing the quest line where you're going through Mehrunes... I think it's before you go to, like, the plane of Oblivion that Mehrunes Dagon created.
Yeah.
So, like, you're infiltrating, like, his, like, that cave.
Yeah.
And, like, I think my adoring fan had died. Got mauled by like a bear or something. So, like, I'm sneaking... So all of a sudden I hear, like, fighting. I'm like, what is going on? And I see the adoring fan, like, running through the caverns with, like, the cultists chasing after him. I'm like, what? I thought you were dead. And so, like, he runs up to me and greets me. He's like, oh, I'm your biggest fan. I'm like,
so
what?
Is it, like, when your adoring fan dies, do you just get another one that looks exactly the same, or is he immortal? Like,
I don't know, because cause I'm pretty sure when he dies, you can like loot his corpse and stuff like that.
Huh.
So that's what really threw me off, because I'm like, oh, that's kind of a shame that he's died, but whatever. He can be annoying at times. So then again, I'm trying to be stealthy, sneaking through Mehrunes Dagon's, or not Mehrunes Dagon's, but
it's Mehrunes Dagon.
But Mankar Cameron.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah. So basically, again, I'm trying to be stealthy, making pretty good progress, by the way, until that jackass runs up to me with, like, his just wide-eyed, he's kind of like, oh, I'm your biggest fan. It's like, thanks, but you gave away my position, dick. So I think he died again, because, like, I had half the cave coming after me. But yeah, that I do really like that adoring fan, though, as annoying as he can be.
Oh, man. Oh, one thing I wanted to talk about. The blades in Oblivion. And then the blades in Skyrim.
I love the blades in Oblivion.
The blades in Skyrim suck.
Yeah.
Like, I understand they want to prevent end times or whatever. But Parthenax is... Oh, yeah. If you're playing Skyrim for the first time, do not kill Parthenax.
Yeah, I've never killed him in any of my gameplays.
Don't do it. You will not be able to learn any more shouts from the Greybeards. The Greybeards will hate... Well, I mean, you can always learn more shouts. But they all have to be from the wall. You have to find the walls yourself. You can't get the locations of the walls from Arngeir. The Greybeards won't even talk to you.
No.
So it's totally not worth it to kill Parthenax.
And again, the blades, it's only Esbern and
Delphine.
Delphine, yeah. Like, because I know there is an option where you can like work with them and build up the blades, but I think you can only recruit up to like maybe 4 or 5 people at most. Mm-hmm. So it's like
I think I killed Parthenax my first playthrough, and then I was like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, because it really doesn't. There's not a whole lot of benefits to it. And so like I thought that was kind of cool to like rebuild the blades, but at the same time, if you can only recruit up to like less than 6 people. And basically all they do is occasionally you'll see them traveling out and about, fighting dragons. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but I was kind of hoping I could, like, full-blown... And it doesn't even add any more quest lines, aside from, like, here's a dragon, go kill it. Those are the only quest lines you do once you start to rebuild the blades. Also, again, like, just the lore established in Oblivion about the blades, I don't know, like, it is a little bit of a letdown in Skyrim. Which,
I mean, 200 years have passed, so a lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah, but I do really like the storyline of basically the Ordinary Dominion like hunting down the blades. So again, there's I love the lore in Elder Scrolls. Like I'm one of the players where like if I'm going through a dungeon and I see a book, I'm like, I'm gonna read this book.
I read a lot of the books too.
Yeah, even if there's like a vampire like in the next room over, I'm like, it's just
there's
a vampire.
one book in the game that you get in the College of Winterhold, when you're doing the main quest line, when you're looking for the Elder Scroll. I think it's called Ruminations on an Elder Scroll.
Yeah.
It's an interesting book because it doesn't make any sense.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
I'm gonna look it up, and I'm gonna read a little bit of it.
Okay.
If I can find it.
But yeah, because like some of the books, they're kind of just like the Lust of the Argonian. They're just like fun books. But then there's some that like I just like because it kind of fleshes out some of the lore through various time periods in the Elder Scrolls universe. And again, I'm a big fantasy person, so anytime I can learn more about lore, whether it be Lord of the Rings, Elder Scrolls, Game of Thrones, I'm kind of like, yes, give me all the lore. Even though it just sits in my brain and I do nothing with it.
All right, so I've got this book. I'm going to read just a little bit of it. But this is written by, what's his name? I don't remember the guy's name, but he knows where an Elder Scroll is. But he's been up in the north. Septimus Signus.
Yeah, Cygnus. Yeah, the crazy guy.
Yes. But did you ever read his book?
I might have done it at one point.
Because a lot of people, when they're doing the quest, they'll open the book and close it because that'll start the quest.
Yeah.
But if you actually read it, imagine living beneath the waves with a strong-sided blessing of most excellent fabric. Holding the fabric over your gills, you would begin to breathe drink its warp and weft. Through the plant matter fibers imbue your soul, the wretched plankton would pollute the cloth until it stank to heavens of prophecy. This is one manner in which the Elder Scrolls first came to pass. But are we the sea, or the breather, or the fabric, or are we the breath itself?
Yeah.
So, if you just take the time to read some books, you'll find some sometimes funny stuff, sometimes interesting stuff.
Yeah. And again, like, I'd say your average player probably could care less about, like, the in-lore stuff. Even like, outside of, like, the books, just kind of, like, the lore. So one thing that I really appreciated is, like, several years after Oblivion, I remember watching a video on, like, the Argonians. So apparently during the Oblivion crisis, like, you know, Oblivion gates were opened up all over Tamriel. And so, like, pretty much the whole continent was getting decimated, aside from Black Marsh.
Which the Argonians were, like, charging into Oblivion, right?
Yeah, because basically the Hiss trees, which are kind of like these sentient trees that they live side by side with, I guess somehow foresaw the crisis and told them about it. So they were, like, arming up. So as soon as the Oblivion gates started opening, they just launched counter-assaults and were storming the gates of Oblivion.
Yeah.
So, like, the Daedra started closing the gates in Black Marsh because they're like, shit, close them! And after I learned that, I was like, wow, I want to play as an Argonian, because, like...
See, that's one... I think of all the races, I don't think I've ever played as an Argonian.
I've played a little bit, like, just making random characters in both Oblivion and Skyrim, but I've never done it, like, a full playthrough of an Argonian either game.
What's your favorite class to play?
So usually, whatever game I'm playing, my first playthrough is whatever race it is. So, like, Morrowind, I think my first character was Dark Elf. Oblivion was Imperial.
I like to do that, too.
And then that's when I start to kind of try different classes and races.
Which plus Nords in Skyrim are kind of OP.
Yeah.
Especially, so if you want to play, it really depends. I like to play a Breton, mostly because I'm a magic user.
Yeah.
So And they have dragon skin, which I can use once a day, which I think it gives you 50% resistance to all magic.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. The next is probably a red guard, because that was the first character I ever played in Oblivion. I played a red guard. But yeah, I like to play Bretons, and I like to play red guards. I think I played an Imperial in Oblivion. I think I played an Orc once, but they weren't too fun.
I think my first playthrough actually of Oblivion was an Orc, and I remember I got Vampirism. And so there's one person that can cure you, and that's a mage at the college in the Imperial City. But in my game, there's a glitch. So basically, anytime I'd go inside the building that he was at, he would see me be like, "Ah, vampire!" And so I'm like, "Yeah, I know, you're supposed to cure me." But
he wouldn't talk to you.
Yeah, no, he would just like run around the place. And so I'm like, "No!" And I was first fairly... I don't know, because like Oblivion, you can beat the game by like level 15.
Yeah.
So I was maybe like 12, 13. So I made a pretty good amount of progress. So I was just like, I have to start a new character because like this stupid mage won't cure me.
I remember when I got Vampirism. So I was really bad when I was younger. Well, I had a PS2 growing up, and I never had a memory card, so I would never save my games ever. So when I got my Xbox 360. I still was in that bad habit of not saving my game. I'm not sure if Oblivion had an autosave. I don't think it did.
I'm pretty sure all the games had autosaves. Although
maybe I was just a stupid kid.
I think in Morrowind and Oblivion they were less frequent. Because basically Skyrim, as soon as you enter or leave a room, autosave.
Yeah, I know that. But okay, so apparently, but in Oblivion, I contracted vampirism, and I got stuck out in the sun. And I couldn't wait till nighttime because I was taking damage.
Yeah.
And, like, I couldn't go get blood from anybody because it was daytime and nobody was sleeping.
Yeah.
And I couldn't move because I would continuously die. So whenever I would try to look... I never actually saved the game, so the autosave would just overwrite itself. So that was the only save I had.
Yeah.
Was the autosave walking into town and dying.
Shit.
Yeah, and that was my main character. My number one character.
Worse.
Yeah, that was my red guard.
So yeah, that's another thing too. Is like when you contracted like vampirism, mostly vampirism. Like lycanthropy in Morrowind wasn't that bad, so long as you didn't turn into a werewolf like within the vicinity of a town. Because basically in Morrowind, if you turned into a werewolf near a town and they knew you, they would immediately come and attack you.
Now being a vampire in Skyrim is freaking dope.
Yeah, like Skyrim werewolves, vampires are pretty cool. Like they actually do have pretty good. Well, actually no, because I remember in Oblivion. And maybe, I think Morrowind 2, it increased your strength by quite a bit if you were a vampire. Because I remember that was a noticeable difference when I became a vampire. And yeah, I think that was actually how I found out I became a vampire. Is because I noticed like I was fighting people and they were dying a lot easier. So I'm like, what happened here? So then I checked my stats and it's kind of like, you're a vampire. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. Let me look into this a little bit more. And then the more I started to play as a vampire, I was like, this sucks.
But yeah, being a vampire in Skyrim is pretty awesome.
Yeah, especially
which also, if you join the if you join the Dawn Guard, you end up having to be a vampire anyway if you want to complete the quest.
Yeah,
the quest line. So you might as well just join the vampires.
Yeah,
because you get to become a vampire from the very beginning, and if you join the Dawn Guard, you get a crossbow.
Yeah, you get a crossbow. Which the crossbow is cool, but I don't know. That's
unless you're playing an archer. If you're playing an archer, go with the Dawn Guard because the crossbow is probably more powerful than any bow you can get at the beginning. Yeah, I think you can join the Dawn Guard at like level 8. Yeah,
I think it's like maybe 8 at the highest. But again, in Skyrim, you can get to level 10 in like just a couple hours.
Yeah,
and I guess that's one thing that I do think both Oblivion and Skyrim in particular like really streamlined the gameplay a lot.
I like in Skyrim how you don't have to go to sleep to level up.
Yeah. That was really nice, and I think that also made sense, because that was a downside to, like, Oblivion or mostly Morrowind, because, again, Morrowind, there's no fast travel, you had to have a spell to, like, basically fast travel. But that's one thing I miss, though, about Morrowind, is the sheer variety in, like, weapons and armor and customization. Because, like, in Morrowind, there were, like, throwing darts, shurikens, they weren't very good, but I like the fact that, like, if I want to throw, like, a shitty throwing dart at somebody, I can do that. And also, like, again, the customization in, like, armor. You could have, like, a left pauldron that's heavy armor, a right pauldron that's medium armor. Like, basically, you could customize it, like, ridiculously detailed.
Wow. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So that was one thing that I'd really like to do is, because usually in Morrowind, because you had to be a bit more strategic in that game, so I'd try to play well-balanced races, like Imperial, Dark Elf, Red Guards, I'd say those three are the most well-balanced, to where they're decent enough with your main skills. So basically I would have like maybe a proficiency in like light armor and then maybe secondary skill in like medium armor. So I try to like layer myself with like half medium, half light, and maybe like gloves or boots of heavy armor just to the odd getting that skill up.
All right, so we've talked about the 3 games. Let's talk about the one that nobody likes. Elder Scrolls Online.
I've not played it a whole lot to have an in-depth opinion. I liked it well enough from when I played, but yeah, I didn't really play enough to kind of definitively be like, oh, this game sucks, or this game's good.
Well, the general consensus of most people is that it's not good. I just find it boring. Maybe if it was a little more exciting at the beginning.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be better. But yeah, it's just a little... The beginning, apparently, the end gets a lot more exciting, but the beginning just... I can't get past level, 7.
Yeah.
I'm just bored of it.
Yeah, it is... I think it's a very ambitious game. And I remember I was kind of worried that it'd be too ambitious and they wouldn't be able to back up, all the hype around it. But, those cinematic trailers they're releasing for Elder Scrolls Online...
Those are awesome.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Those are incredible. And that in of itself got me, I would rewatch some of those cinematic trailers, over and over and just be like, yes, it looks so good!
Do we know of any speculation about 6?
So, it seems like most people are thinking it either takes place in High Rock or Hammerfell.
See, I was hoping for, Black Marsh. Or Elsewhere. I was really hoping for Elsewhere, actually.
I think the main reason why they wouldn't do Black Marsh is it's mostly inhospitable to non-Argonians. So, they could do it. And I'm sure, if they really wanted to... it probably wouldn't be that hard to find a creative way for, why other races would live in Black Marsh. But I think that's the main reason going against that.
I also think Elsewhere is in a civil war right now?
No, it's not in a civil war. But, Elsewhere... but I know that there is, some conflict with, because I know some of them are okay with the Old Mary Dominion, then others are kind of yeah, these guys are assholes. But I don't think it's, an outright, civil conflict or anything like that yet. And I think maybe they wouldn't do a game in Elsewhere, too, because I think it is a bit more open to other races living there, but I think it's not, it wouldn't be as common to see, other races living in Elsewhere compared to, some of the other provinces.
The only reason why I'm thinking it should be somewhere else because they've already done Hammerfell, right?
No, they did High Rock in Daggerfall. I think the second Elder Scrolls game it wasn't the full province. It was parts of High Rock and I think a little bit of Hammerfell.
See, I'd be okay with Valenwood.
Valenwood would be really cool.
That's Wood Elves, right?
Yeah. Because I really like the Wood Elves. Because usually most games that I play, I'm more of an archer type. So I kind of base myself off rangers of just your archetypical ranger. I'm good with a bow, kind of living off the land and kind of a loner. Same thing with D&D.
Except right now you're playing a
halfling rogue. Which I love them so much.
Do your voice.
Yeah, my name's Sidle Stillfoot, and I based this character off Danny DeVito from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So
yeah, I'm DMing that campaign. Yeah. It's a little rough. I made it it's pretty combat heavy, and I have a druid and a rogue.
Yep.
So they've almost died 3 times.
Yeah, because again, rogues and druids...
I refuse to change the campaign.
not heavy hitters, so it's very easy, especially my character, because rogues don't have a whole lot of HP or...
I mean, you're level 10 and you're still almost dying in 2 hits.
Yeah. But he's so much fun to play because he's the complete antithesis of me, which are characters that I usually gravitate towards. But anyways, Elder Scrolls, it started off very much as a video game form of a D&D type game. Until, I feel like Skyrim is what really kind of broke that, for better or worse. Because I know some people have that's why they didn't like Skyrim as much as the previous games, because they were it's too easy, they kind of dumbed it down. Which I get that to a degree, but at the same time...
Skyrim's fun.
Yeah, Skyrim...
It's a fun game.
It is so much fun. I've invested ridiculous amount of hours in that game. like more than I'd care to admit.
Skyrim's almost like revolutionary.
Yeah,
Like it's. I mean, there's people still play that game religiously now.
yeah. After almost 10 years, not a whole lot of games have had that lifespan.
Right.
With
I mean,
one.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, World of Warcraft is one.
That's about it, really.
There's probably some others that I can't think of, but
yeah.
Yeah, those two have had like pretty long shelf lives. Because again, World of Warcraft, I think is over 10 years old.
It's like 20 something years old. Let me look up when.
It's not quite that old. Because I think it came out when I was in like.
Oh yeah, you're right. It might be
grade.
2007 or so.
That sounds about right. Like around like 2005, 2006.
WoW Classic's coming out too.
What is?
World of Warcraft Classic,
Oh.
November 23rd, 2004.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
15 years old.
Yeah, so 15 years old and the game's still kicking.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive.
But there's World of Warcraft the game, and then there's the World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So then those games have been around longer,
Mhm.
like the Warcraft games.
Yeah, because I started off Warcraft 3 and loved that game so much.
We want Warcraft 4, by the way.
Yeah.
Which they're remastering Warcraft 3, which I already have that pre-ordered.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Because you remember you sent me a trailer for that.
Yes.
Because, yeah, I don't know. Like, World of Warcraft, it was okay from the little I played, but I was like, I kind of want Warcraft 3, that style. Like, that RTS type game.
Yeah, I love RTS games, like Age of Empires.
Yeah.
I know you like Age of Mythology.
Oh, my God, yes.
Um,
Again, another game that I invested way too much time into. Same thing with Warcraft 3. Like, in the expansion, love that. Played. Again, that was a lot of my middle school days, is Age of Mythology, Warcraft 3, and, like, actually Morrowind. Morrowind I was playing a lot of in middle school.
I remember there used to be a computer right there. We'd play
Yeah.
Age of Mythology,
The movies.
the movies.
Love that game.
That was about it. We talked to random people on Omegle.
Those are nice days. Met a lot of cool people on Omegle, though. Also a lot of creeps, obviously.
We would type out the Pokemon, like the first line of the Pokemon theme song, and see if anybody were just fond.
Yeah. Which, again, most people are just like, show me your penis, or like, show me your tits. Didn't care about the Pokemon theme, which...
Even though we were just on text.
Yeah.
We were not brave enough to get on the video chat.
No. No, just from, like, the text, I'm like...
So
yeah.
you were like, if you're in middle school, you were like 14, which made me like, what, 8, 7?
Yeah. Like 7 and 8, so... So yeah, definitely a good thing, more reason not to go in the video chat of the dark recesses of the internet. Okay, so I guess, like, back to Elder Scrolls, like, what are some of your favorite, like, quests in any of the games you've played?
Let's see. Why don't you tell me your favorite quest while I think about mine?
So in Oblivion, I loved, actually in both Oblivion and Skyrim, I love the Dark Brotherhood quest lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are some of my all-time favorites. The Arena quest line, although maybe less of, like, a standard quest, just more of, like, here's an arena, go fight stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love the Arena in Oblivion. Morrowind, I didn't do a whole lot of quests. Like, even, like, as an adult, I've tried to go back and replay it, but I'm still just overwhelmed at, like, the absolute freedom.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can even kill, like, any character. So even if they're important to the main storyline, you can kill them. So sometimes, like, that gets the best of me. I'm like, this character's really important, but they're kind of a jerk, so I'm gonna stab them. So I've actually not done a whole lot of the main quests in Morrowind.
Imagine if that was a thing in Skyrim, dude. You could level 1, you could walk into Windhelm and
kill
Ulfric Stormcloak.
Civil War, over. Yeah, that would be something I think would be cool if they ever did, like, a...
I know there's a mod for that.
Yeah, like, and that's, again, I love mods.
Yeah, me too.
Mostly the immersive ones. Like, they're some, like, the Macho Man Randy Savage is, like, dragons. Like, some of those...
Or, like, Thomas the Train.
Like, some of those are really fun, and I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun for a while, but I mostly just do, like, the immersive ones where it's, like, more weapons, armor, quest-related stuff. But then, also really liked...
I know there's a mod where you can get, like, Narsil.
Yeah, like, I've gotten that one before. I actually came with a lot of Lord of the Rings weapons, like Narsil, Sting, Legolas's short swords and bow. Let me think.
I think you can get Gimli's axe.
Yeah, Gimli's axe. But I don't know, like, and also just kind of like some random just quests that you could do in, like, all the games. Like Oblivion, I really liked that one where there's, like, that invisible mage Or no, like he turned like this whole little village into invisible.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really a very hard one. It's like a pretty easy one that you can do at probably level 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought that was like just a fun little quest to do in Oblivion.
I think in Oblivion, I really liked getting Fimian that sweet roll.
I don't think I ever did that one.
Oh, you don't know Fimian?
I don't think so.
Fimian like sweet roll. Fimian like pants. You give Fimian sweet roll, Fimian give you pants.
I'm assuming here they're an Argonian or a Khajiit.
They are... where are they? It's one of the... He's in like the Somerset Isles or whatever. It's in
okay.
He might be an elf. I think he's an elf.
The Shimmering Isles?
Shimmering Isles, that's right. Yeah. Not Somerset Isles. Shimmering Isles.
Yeah, because I don't think I ever completed that quest line.
It was... Shea Gorath's there, right? Is that where you meet him? And you get the Wabbajack.
Yeah.
That's a cool staff.
Yeah. Yeah, because I played that a lot in Skyrim. That's another quest that I really liked is the one in Skyrim where you go to... I think you go inside the head of like one of the dead emperors who like lost his mind.
Oh yeah,
I forget his name at the top of my head.
I don't remember.
Yeah, then afterwards, like Sheogorath is just kind of like, yeah, here's the Wabbajack or whatever. Because I think he was trying to build it up to be like this really big epic thing. He's kind of like, okay, you saved the day. Here's a staff,
and the staff just changes people.
Yeah,
it's completely random. I think.
Yeah,
it change them to like a animal, or it can turn them to ash. Like it'll totally just Thanos people.
Yep. Like so I remember.
Oh my gosh, I saw a picture I need to tell you about. This is not about Elder Scrolls, but it was a Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet, and it had what are they called? A dual disc. And it said thinking about sending half of everybody to the Shadow Realm later.
For those of you who played Yu-Gi-Oh, you get that. Yu-Gi-Oh. But no, I remember like using the Wabbajack. There were a couple instances. Remember, I turned someone into a rabbit, and then I think I turned someone into a troll because I turned him into a rabbit first. So I was kind of like, oh, look at the cute little bunny. Then I used it again, turned someone into a troll. So I was like, ah, shit. Then I remember, I think it's the same staff. I was doing the Civil War storyline. I was attacking some fort. So I'm like, let's use the Wabbajack, and then like lightning came down. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I think that can happen.
Yeah. So I was just kind of like, nifty. Let's try it again. And it was like something dumb where like, I don't know, like smoke came out. Like I don't know if that was actually a but it was like very anticlimactic.
Yeah. I think my favorite quest line in any of the games is probably Skyrim's Thieves Guild.
Yeah, I do
which
really like
is
the Thieves Guild.
Not a very popular opinion because a lot of people don't like it, but the Nightingale stuff is pretty cool, and the armor, it's not always the best. It just stats, but it
aesthetically,
looks cool.
Yeah,
it looks so
aesthetically, cool. It's so awesome. But I also do really like one of the swords that Mercer Frey uses. I forget the name of it, but that one has like decent stats.
I'm not sure. I know most about Skyrim, but I don't know who that is.
Mercer Frey? Mm-hmm. He was the leader of the Thieves Guild.
Oh.
Yeah.
In Skyrim?
Yeah.
Sorry. I haven't finished that Thieves Guild quest in probably 5 or 6 years.
I think I've done all the quest lines at least 2 to 3 times aside from the Mages Guild. That one I've only done once.
In Oblivion?
Skyrim.
You're talking about the College of Winterhold?
Yeah, College of Winterhold.
Yeah.
Because I've never really played a magic user in any kind of fantasy game. That's like usually my least favorite.
Destruction mages are really fun once you get to like level 15.
Yeah.
They're a little tough before that. Before that, you almost should run a battle mage.
Yeah.
But yeah, destruction mages are awesome, especially once you get like apprentice level spells like Firebolt. I know a few expert level spells too, but I'm not sure what those are. I've got one that's like health drain. It just drains health. I know I've got another one that I can drain my health and it'll give me magic. But you can actually die from that.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful. But yeah, some of those expert level spells are seriously powerful.
Yeah, because I remember like some of our earlier playthroughs, I would get like murdered by like some of the higher level mages. Mm-hmm. So, I know, remember I think it was my first playthrough as a Nord. There's like that sunken tower near Falkreath. I forget the name of that.
I never go to Falkreath because I don't think you have to in the story.
Well, not the main story, but like the Daedra's best friend quest line is right outside there. But yeah, I don't think any main quests lead you to Fall Creek.
See, because nowadays I'll go back to play Skyrim for the main story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do much exploring anymore.
That's actually the opposite. Like I've done the main quest so much that I'm like, I just want to explore some of these caves that I've never done before.
I remember I did like an exploring playthrough where you ever watch your brother play it. Mm-hmm. And he had just like he would open up his map and like you couldn't see the ground because he's discovered everything. Yeah, that's kind of what my game looked like. But I don't do that anymore. I just play the main story, and I'll usually do since I have that mod for the College of Winterhold. It's usually pretty fun. Mm-hmm. I might do the companions.
I didn't like the companions all that much. Like I mean, I liked it well enough, but I wasn't. I guess compared to like the Fighters Guild in Oblivion, which is another quest down there, I really liked.
That one's fun.
I don't know, I was just kind of like, yeah, it's okay. Like, I liked it well enough, but I wasn't, like, just... It's not one that I like to repeat, like the Thieves Guild or Dark Brotherhood. Like, those I usually... Any of my playthroughs, I usually do those, because they're just a lot of fun.
The arena was fun. I know we already talked about it, but that might be one of my favorites, too.
It is a little disappointing, because I learned several years after Skyrim, because Skyrim's the only game that didn't have an arena.
Yeah.
Out of all the...
Did Morrowind have one?
Yeah. It was in the city of Vivek.
Okay, so it wasn't even in the capital.
No, because the capital is Mournhold, which one of the DLCs you could go to Mournhold, which is connected to like mainland.
Oh, so it's the game doesn't take place in the whole province. It just takes place on the island, I guess, right?
Yeah, it takes place on the island of Vardenfell, which is part of the
Red Mountain is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then that's also where Solstheim was first introduced, is the Blood Moon DLC.
Right, and Solstheim at the time was owned by Skyrim, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, and then after Red Mountain, and it became useless, they're kind of like, go, you can have this island back. Thanks. You can't really do anything with it, but we appreciate it. We're over here dying and getting invaded by the Argonians, but thanks. But again, that's kind of a typical Nord thing to be like, yeah, we hate you, Dark Elves. Here you go. You can have this island back because it's useless.
Yeah. What's next? What are we talking about next?
I don't think we talked about favorite classes or races a whole lot.
We talked about races. I said mine was a Breton. You said yours was...
I don't actually know if I have a favorite. So again, I usually gravitate towards, like, Wood Elves. I do like Imperials, so maybe between, like, Wood Elf and Imperials would probably be my two. And again, usually class-wise, I usually stick with, like, either kind of like a rogue class or, like, a ranger. Mm-hmm. Then, like, I guess favorite moments, like, in the series, whether it be, like, a quest or just something that you did on a quest or...
Let's see. I really liked the Civil War in Skyrim. Yeah. I think defending Whiterun as an Imperial is fun. Mm-hmm. Killing your first dragon in Skyrim.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back to Oblivion, what was good in that.
I
remember when I went into my first Oblivion gate, mm-hmm. I was probably 9 years old. I was scared. It was scary.
Yeah. No, like, because if you go with, like, the default like difficulty in Oblivion, it's pretty challenging.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because I remember, like, because I remember I had started Oblivion maybe a couple months before Skyrim came out, because at the time I'd never played Oblivion before. So I'm like, I feel like I have to play Oblivion before Skyrim.
Really? It took you that long to play Oblivion?
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't you that introduced me to Oblivion. I know I saw you playing Morrowind.
Yeah, so it would have been Morrowind.
So I think my other friend, or one of my friends, had Oblivion. Yeah, that's right. My friend Will had Oblivion. And, you know, me and Will were best friends. Mm-hmm. And we, so I went out and got Oblivion and just decided to start playing it. He loves to play Argonians.
Argonians are really good.
Might be a reason why I never played one, because I watched him play one for so long.
Yeah.
So I just decided not to. But, yeah, he got me into Oblivion now that I think about it. Yeah, that's right.
I do think that, like, Argonians are probably a little... Again, not that they're bad by any means in Skyrim, but I think, like, some of their, like, natural, like, racial abilities are more useful in Oblivion and Morrowind.
Like you can breathe underwater?
Breathe underwater, disease immunity. Because you can contract diseases so easy, mostly in Morrowind. Mm-hmm. Like, Skyrim, like, you can get diseases fairly easy, but, like, all
they're
you gotta do...
super easy to cure.
Yeah. Just go to like you don't even really need a potion. Just go to the nearest temple and boom, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Morrowind, I think you could still go to like temples, but again, you couldn't fast travel. So if you're like just out in the far reaches of Vardenfell and you get contracted with a disease, it's like, ooh, the nearest town is pretty far away.
And you move so slow in Morrowind.
Yeah.
Which I think that's kind of to make you feel like the world is bigger than it actually is.
Yeah, because it's really not that big. But again, since you're basically even moving, just walking uses stamina.
That's crazy to me. That's just insane.
That is one thing that I do. Like, there's some things that I do.
Like, do you have to walk a little bit and then stand still and read? That's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one.
No
thing
offense to Morrowind fans, but that's stupid.
No. Like I guess it kind of makes sense because I mean, yeah, you can even if you are walking, you can only walk so far before you get tired. But again, starting off at like level 1, regardless of how you were playing your character, like walk from one end of town to the other, you're out of stamina. So it's like you really had to like boost up your stamina to not.
So like, can you once you run out, can you just not move at all, or are you stuck?
No, you can still move, but like if you're in combat, you're at a huge disadvantage. Although you can sneak, and it doesn't use any stamina.
Oh, okay.
So that was kind of like a way, like if I was just traveling across, exploring, ran out of stamina, I'd just sneak, even though you're slower. But like I'd recoup my stamina, so that way if I came across a bend and found an enemy, I at least had my stamina back up.
The Dark Brotherhood quest the Dark Brotherhood quest line in Oblivion. The very first guy you kill, what's his name? It's just an R, I think.
Oh, what is it? Rufus, I think.
No, I don't think so. Alright, I'm looking it up.
Rufio?
Rufio.
Yeah.
Yes. If you go into his room and crouch and just walk against his bed, you can get your sneak to 100.
I don't know why I never thought of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a nice little
Rufio.
sheet for you kids who've never played Oblivion.
Which I wouldn't really recommend it. If you're just starting out, just play Skyrim.
I don't know.
Play Skyrim first, at least.
Yeah, I'd maybe start with Skyrim, and then if you like it well enough, then go back further into Morrowind and Oblivion.
Play Oblivion next, and then go to Morrowind if you're really brave.
Yeah, because I loved Oblivion so much. Like, just, cause
are you talking about Morrowind or Oblivion?
Oh, I love Morrowind too, but like quest lines, like just the main quest line, I like the fact that you're basically trying to prevent like this demon invasion, and especially like once you actually have to defend. Why can't I think of the name? It's in the north, like it's the northernmost city in the Imperial Province. Yeah, I've got a map right here.
Bruma?
Bruma, yeah. Like the Siege of Bruma, like that was a really cool quest, and I remember when I played that, like. Because, like, in Oblivion, like, most of your important characters can't die. They just get knocked unconscious. But now in the Siege of Bruma, like, Joffrey, and I think, like, some of the other Blades, if they're alive, like, they actually can die in this quest. So I remember, like, the Siege of Bruma, like, because they have, like, these huge battering rams. So remember, I destroyed that pretty quick.
I remember this quest now. That quest was awesome.
Yeah. Because, again, it is a full-blown, like, siege. Like, they have that big battering ram, like, Daedra of all kinds, like, the little scamps, the Daedroth, the kind of crocodile-looking things. And, again, like, it's, like, Blades, the city guard of... Because you also have to try to recruit the city guard from, like, all the other cities. So I just like that you have to basically go town to town, and I know some of them decline. They're like, yeah, we have to defend our own city before we can even, like, consider... sending people to Bruma. So I just like that whole aspect of actually having to like go to all the different cities, do a quest for them to see... Because I think some of them, if you destroyed like an Oblivion Gate outside their city, they're like, okay, that threat's taken care of, we can send some people to Bruma. But I just remember like doing that quest line, like I saved Bruma, destroyed the battering ram fairly early, and then, like, after the battle, like, the gates close, and then I come out of the Oblivion Gate after I shut it, I'm like, yeah, we saved the day! I'm like, where is everyone? And then I'm, like, searching around the battlefield, it's like, what? When did Joffrey die? And I'm like, what? When did that guy die? Like, I thought I was doing good.
Not to be confused with the Game of Thrones character.
Yeah.
Because we were happy when he died.
Yes.
Spoiler.
That was a very satisfying death. I imagine everyone who's wanted to see the show has seen the show at this point. If we did spoil it, apologies. But you've had like 10 years to watch this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was probably another one of my favorite quest lines in the Elder Scrolls games, is just because like the sheer epic scale of that battle in particular, because like the whole thing of again trying to prevent like a demon invasion was pretty badass. But that one in particular, I remember like that was just a very satisfying quest line to complete.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And kind of bittersweet, like the very end when like Martin basically sacrifices himself to save all humanity, but he was the last of the Septim bloodline.
Yeah.
Because again, the Septims have been, I think, in all the Elder Scrolls games, the Septims have been like the ruling dynasty.
In Skyrim?
Oh, it's not from Skyrim.
I was gonna say it's Titus Mead, obviously.
But yeah,
well, obviously because it's after. Hey, your game's done.
Cool.
It's after
Oblivion.
Oblivion, yeah.
Yeah, but like, again, up to that point, the first 4 games, all the Septim dynasty was like in control. So I think like, even though I get it, just I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to like some of the lore. And when I first played Morrowind, I was like, I don't know who the king is, don't really care. I'm just gonna go dungeon diving. But like, I think like for people who maybe started out with like the earlier games and were aware of like the fact that like this dynasty had been in control for so long, I think that might have been a little impactful to be like, oh wow, who's gonna be in the emperor now?
Yeah.
Like he's dead. So again, that was kind of a cool thing too. Is like, yeah, you saved the day, but like, who's in charge of the empire?
Or you know, like the emperor at the time just gets straight murdered in front of you in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, voiced by Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick
Really?
Stewart. Yes. And then of course Martin Septim was voiced by Sean Bean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Now I think about it.
Another role where he died.
Yeah, of course. He didn't die early though.
No, that's true. Like he survived to the very end.
Mm-hmm.
So hats off to you, Sean Bean. Okay, like, did you have any favorite like guilds in any of the games?
Thieves Guild in both games.
Yeah, Thieves Guild was pretty good.
I like College of Winterhold, but it's got to have that mod. So without it, I guess I wouldn't count that because.
Yeah.
Is there any others?
Although I do remember the one time that I did play the College of Winterhold, one of my favorite moments in all of Skyrim is there's that one Old Mary agent who's kind of like...
On Kano.
Yeah, on Kano. So like once you like discover the Eye of Magnus, I think is the name of it, you like come through a door and he's like surprise you. He's like, haha, I got you. Because I think he's trying to ambush you. So I remember like when I played that, because I hated that guy from the beginning. I'm like, this guy's a dick.
Same, dude. I hate that guy.
And so I'm like, I hope I get to like fight this guy at some point. And then sure enough, you do.
You had to use the Staff of Magnus on him.
Yeah. And so I remember like I'm fighting him, like he's about to die, and it's perfect timing. Like I get a kill shot on him. So it shows me like chopping his head off.
Yes.
And right before I chop his head off, you know, he's kind of like, no! And then I chop his head off. I'm like, yes! Yes!
Yeah,
so I'm just like basically jumping over his dead body. It's like, take that, Unkano, you dick!
Those kill cams.
Yes.
I think is what they're called. Those are the best.
Yeah, I love those. So that was one of the most like just purely satisfying moments because I hated the Aldmeri Dominion from the get-go. It's actually kind of made me not want to ever play as a high elf.
Dude, I hate most elves, actually. Just in the Elder Scrolls.
Racist.
Sure. Especially them dark elves. But, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the elves. Actually, dark elves are probably the ones that I would play.
Yeah, I think they're, again, like, if you're going for, like, a balanced character, they're the most balanced with, like, their base stats.
Now, if you're going to be an archer, wood elf, but I just cannot see an upside to playing a high elf.
Again, like,
if you're going to be a magic user, why not be a Breton?
Yeah, because I feel like Bretons actually have the better, like, magic stats. Or I guess if you are playing a magic user. But yeah, no. Like I was never, like, inclined to play as a high elf to begin with, but, like, Skyrim, I was just like, most of them are a bunch of racist bastards.
Yep.
Like, they're basically the Nazis of the Elder Scrolls world. Or at least the Aldmeri Dominion.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm kind of like, yeah, don't think I'm ever going to play as a high elf, because they're jerks. So yeah, one reason why that was one of the most satisfying moments in Skyrim for me is just getting to behead one of the, like, I guess, top agents of the Aldmeri Dominion. I'm like, ha-ha! Take that! But one thing I do like about Skyrim is, like, if you, because, like, every now and then you'll see, like, the patrols of, like, the Aldmeri Dominion with, like, a prisoner, or they're just, like, walking around.
And you can kill them and
Yeah.
take the prisoner, or
And
save the prisoner.
If you pick enough fights with them, or if you're causing enough trouble for the Aldmeri Dominion, they actually send assassins after you.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I learned that is I was just, like, out in the wild, like, I think I'd come out of a cave. So I'm like, oh, man, can't wait to sell this loot. then all of a sudden I hear like probably one of them shout like, "Never should have come here," and I'm like, "What?" I see like these old married people attacking me. I'm like, "Okay, I'll gladly kill more of you guys." And then on them it's like a letter that's kind of like, "So and so has caused enough problems for the Almighty Dominion. Kill them." So I'm like, "What?" It's like, all right, I'm doing good if I've got the Almighty Dominion sending assassins after me.
Speaking of somebody sending assassins after you, the Dragonborn DLC. I think I was like level 3 or 4. Mirak will send. He sends Dragonborns or not
cultists.
Cultists too. Yeah, and you'll find a letter. Then you have to go to Solstheim. So yeah, I think that's the earliest DLC you can start. Is Dragonborn?
Yeah, because again, Hearthfire doesn't really count because that's just like an accessory to like building houses.
Yeah,
and
you can
stuff
build
like
your own
that.
house, and I think you can get married and adopt children.
Yeah, like because you could already get married in like the regular Skyrim version, but yeah, you can adopt children now. But yeah, I really liked Solstheim or that DLC just because it took me back to Solstheim, so it kind of brought back fond memories of Morrowind.
And it's so beautiful in Skyrim.
Oh yeah. And like it also plays like I think it's like an updated version of like some of the Morrowind themes. Like,
oh really?
Yeah. So sometimes I'll just like sit there like once it started like one of the themes from Morrowind, I'll just like sit there and be like, I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy this because I love the soundtracks to both Morrowind and Oblivion.
Oblivion, in my opinion, has the best soundtrack. Like the theme song. Well, I know you're partial to Morrowind, but
I don't know. Like it could go either way for me. Because there's sometimes where like I'll get like one particular like I loved Harvest Dawn. That's one of the tracks in Oblivion. Like that's one of my favorites. It's like every now and then there'll be like one particular track that just pops in my head. And I'm like, the good old days.
Well, I remember the other night I was laying in my bed and I was just like, Alexa, play video game music, and some of it like it was like Zelda, and then it was just other stuff. I think I skipped a Mario song because who wants to listen to that while they're trying to sleep? And then I heard, I don't remember exactly what song it is from Oblivion, but it's just kind of like a soft flute playing, and I was almost asleep and I like snapped awake because I recognized it.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
It's like when you're in a town.
Let me scroll through my playlist here because
I like snapped awake, and as soon as I hear it, I'll know it. But I just love the music.
I don't think it's
you know, I'm a huge music guy anyway. I was a music major in college.
Might be Sunrise and Flutes.
Play it. Don't want to get copyrighted. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's another one. Like Sunrise and Flutes. Like obviously, like the beginning Reign of the Septums is great. Harvest Dawn, I love that one. And probably King and Country are probably some of my favorites from. Looking right at the title, Oblivion. That one. It's like my brain is looking at it and just not even processing.
Late. It's late at night, at least for you.
But yeah, and I think that's another thing that I love so much about the Elder Scrolls is because I'm a big music person.
Like I said, I was a music major in college.
It's like if a movie, video game, or TV show has a really good score, that just helps immerse me that much more. Because again, like Lord of the Rings, Howard Shore's incredible.
The two of us are extremely partial to Lord of the Rings.
Yes, so I'll admit I am a little biased, but I feel like taking my personal bias out of the equation, like again, those themes are great. Yes. Same thing with the older Zelda games, like Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time. Love those soundtracks. I own both of them, and Wind Waker. Also, a very underrated game, but it has a great score.
I've played a few of the Zelda games. I'm not into them as much as you were. A little before me. I never had an N64. I never had a GameCube. My dad bought. We had PlayStation 1 and 2, and then so I never really got to play the Zelda games. I still haven't played Breath of the Wild because I don't have a Switch.
That's the one thing, like, I do really want to play that game, but since I don't really play video games all that much anymore, I don't want to buy a brand new console for one game.
$300.
Yeah,
still.
Even if the game is great, which I'm sure it is, but, like, still, like, I don't really want to invest that kind of money on one game. Maybe, like, Smash Brothers, because can't go wrong with Smash Brothers.
I mean, who doesn't love Smash?
Yeah.
But, speaking of, you can get Skyrim on the Switch, and you can play it while you're laying in bed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep, and I think they're releasing something else. I don't remember what it is. What's that game? It was a mobile game that they're releasing for the Switch. Is there an Elder Scrolls mobile game? No.
I don't think. Like, I think there are mobile games. Like, I think they released. It's kind of like a trading game. Like an Elder Scrolls, like, mobile trading game or something like that.
What's it called?
I have no idea. So I remember a coworker was telling me about it. Because I remember he texted me one day. He was like, "Oh, they're making a new Elder Scrolls game." So I was like, what?" And then like he told me as like, "Oh, it's a trading game." I'm like, "Oh, don't do that to me." Like nothing against trading games. Like I spent a lot of my youth playing trading games: Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon. Yeah.
Trading game.
Yeah. So again, I forget the name of it, but since we're going on about an hour, we'll start wrapping up. But so Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out sometime.
Blades. Elder Scrolls Blades is
Yeah.
what it's called.
That's it. But I don't know, 'cause they only released like that maybe 30-second teaser where it just shows like some kind of landscape. And just that in itself, of course, got me excited. Because I'm kind of like, yeah, I have no idea where this is at. But just the fact that like I'm that much closer to Elder Scrolls 6, which I'll probably end up having to get a new console or get a PC or something like that to play it. But whatever. I'll worry about that when it comes out. And if it blows my mind, which it probably will, because again, the last 3 Elder Scrolls games, I played those relentlessly and would like, especially Skyrim. Like I remember when that came out. Friends were like, "Hey, do you want to go out tonight?" I'm like, "No, I'm busy." Even though like I should have went out and been social, I'm kind of like, I've got a world to save, you guys. I mean, obviously I didn't tell them that I was blowing them off to play video games, but yeah, I just kind of like, I'm busy, guys, got other things to do, and then it's kind of like, time to die, dragon.
Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about is that it's not going to be as good as Skyrim. It's going to be hard to follow that up.
Yeah, but again, at the same time, I feel like with how games have progressed, just like visually, I feel like visually in of itself.
Oh, visually it'll be amazing.
It'll be stunning.
Yeah.
But
like I know you haven't played God of War yet, but holy crap!
Mm-hmm.
That game came out 2017 or maybe the beginning of 2018, and even now, like, did you see the trailer for Cyberpunk?
Yes.
Yes, that's gonna be great. It looks real.
Yeah, and again,
Kingdom Hearts 3 looked real.
And again, it's got Keanu Reeves. Can't go on with Keanu Reeves.
A lot of people don't like him, but
They are wrong. Like everyone's entitled to their opinions, but that's one where it's like I cannot allow that. Like, how can you not like Keanu? But anyways, so I guess like, what are some of the speculations or things you would like to see?
Well, like I said, I'd like for it to be someplace we haven't seen yet. I'd love for it to be like in Phelan Wood, even though it's probably not going to be. I would like I'd like for it to not streamline as much, but I don't want it to be like Morrowind where we don't have. I'd still like quest markers and things, but maybe slow it down a little.
I feel like Oblivion was maybe the best like paced, in where it wasn't super streamlined, but like you did have quest markers to where it wasn't super easy to get lost on where you're going.
Plus, you've had 8 years.
Yeah.
This should be the best Elder Scrolls game that's ever. This should be one of the best video games ever created.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Like I think it shouldn't be that hard to find a nice balance between the two, or maybe even with the way modern technology is in video games, they might even be able to put it on like 2 different settings, where maybe one setting kind of streamlines it like Skyrim, and then maybe another setting is like, hey, if you want to go back to the old class system, where like that
cool.
completely determines how you play the game.
Or even simpler, just have an option to turn quest markers off.
Yeah, or which I think actually Skyrim might have had that.
No.
No.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, you almost would have to have 2 different settings because things would have to be like the dialogue would have to be written differently.
That's true.
Because you'll have to have more detail if somebody doesn't have quest markers on.
Yeah,
so that probably wouldn't work. But I would actually like to see where we can, kind of like the Elder Scrolls Online, where you can just go anywhere.
Yeah. I could see them, like, again, probably not like all of Tamriel, but I could see, like, so if it takes place in, say, like, Hammerfell, I could see it being likely that maybe you could go to, like, maybe, like, the border of, like, say, Cyrodiil or maybe High Rock or something like that, or Phelan Wood.
Well, you know, in Oblivion, you can almost get into Skyrim.
Yeah.
If you go far enough north. Now, there's mountain ranges that block the entire border, I think.
But even Oblivion, there's like certain, because like I know, Leyawiin is almost, or no, Yeah, Ladywind is almost on the border of Blackmarsh. And that is one thing that I did really like about Oblivion 2 is the Imperial Province, no matter what part you go to, it's going to vary terrain-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I liked Skyrim, like, the terrain was kind of just the same for the most part. Whereas, again, in Cyrodiil, if the further north you go, it's more mountainous, it's more cold. Southwest is marshy, swampy like Blackmarsh. But I guess, like, I kind of think Hammerfell would make a lot of sense story-wise because in the timeline of Skyrim, the Red Guards have seceded from the Empire because basically during the peace treaty, the Empire were like, okay, we're not going to fight each other. Here's a chunk of Hammerfell to the Aldmeri Dominion. So of course the Red Guard were like, what? You can't just hand some of our land over to them. So they basically seceded and actually fought the Aldmeri Dominion to a standstill. Because again, the Red Guard are like the best fighters in all of Tamriel.
Right. Alakir.
Yeah, the Alakir.
Oh my gosh, a game that takes place in Akavir, by the way, would be amazing.
That's another thing that I think could be cool. And I think with the modern technology, they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like that's still a little ways off before we go to Akavir. I still want to see like some of the other provinces here on Tamriel.
I'd love it if we could have a game of Valenwood.
Yeah, like Valenwood, Hammerfell, or High Rock would be my top picks. Which also those are the there's also the Somerset Isles and Elsewhere and Blackmarsh.
But like you said, Blackmarsh probably wouldn't happen.
No, or at least maybe a full game, like maybe like a DLC or something like that. I think could work, where maybe you're on like the fringes of Blackmarsh or something. But yeah, I think like just terrain-wise and like what I know of like the lore, I think those three provinces would be really cool to explore. So that would be my like. And again, I think more likely, story-wise, I think it makes most sense to either do High Rock or the Hammerfell, just based on like the story that they've been going with, regardless of how many years it takes place after Skyrim.
So I wonder how you'd be the hero in this one, because I mean, think about it. Morrowind, you're like a reincarnation of somebody, right?
Yeah, the Nerevarine.
And then in Oblivion,
you just happen to get lucky.
Yeah, you're the hero of Kawach. So yeah, you just happen to get lucky, and then in Skyrim, you're
the Dragonborn.
The Dragonborn. So it's
which I almost kind of like. I think that's another reason why I like Oblivion so much is you just happen to be in the right place at the right time, and then you can go on to become the hero of Kvatch and the savior of like Tamriel and stuff. Whereas Dragonborn, I think it kind of thrusts that upon you a bit more, where it's kind of like you're the Dragonborn, so you have to like kill dragons and stuff. And I guess technically,
I think you can get through the game with like only killing 4 dragons. I think.
Yeah, so I mean, you don't necessarily have to do that, but like Skyrim, it's a bit more like limited on like things you can and can't do without basically embracing becoming the Dragonborn and doing some of the main quest lines. Whereas again, one thing about Morrowind, yeah, you're the Nerevarine, you don't have to do shit. Like nothing at all. You can just sit in a city and just that's all you got to do is just sit there and just be like, all right, this is nice. I like the theme. I like the ambiance here. And no one's going to get onto you and be like, hey, you need to go do this. You need to go do that. They're just kind of like, hey, man. Or if they're the Dunmer, they kind of hate your guts and they're kind of like, get out here, Outlander. Even the Town Guard are very racist and aggressive towards you.
Even if you're playing as a Dark Elf?
Yeah. Because basically the Dark Elf culture is, even if you're a Dark Elf, but if you weren't born in Morrowind, then you're still seen as like an outsider. So yeah, fun little tidbit. But yeah, so I think we're
about finished here, huh?
Yeah. So any other closing thoughts or anything, any social medias or anything like that you want to promote?
No. I think we're going to play a little bit of Neverwinter. We can always come back on our next time you want to have me on. We can talk about our adventures on there.
There are like I have been wanting to do like a D&D like centered podcast at some point. Maybe get like a group of people. Maybe even have like a little reunion of our D&D group.
That would be awesome.
With like John, Alyssa, Dave, maybe Phil.
Yeah, no offense, Phil, but you only showed up once.
Just because I think all of us combined, I think would have a lot of really fun stories to share of our D&D tabletop experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
like that time when I got freaking death raid by a beholder because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
I was level 2.
Oh god.
Long story. I could explain some other time.
Yeah, so
But
look forward to that, because I'm sure that wouldn't be too hard to organize. But yeah, I'm on Twitter. I don't really use Twitter much. You can still follow me at Irishman Jake.
if you want to follow me on Twitter, it'll be at the Brent Evans.
Yeah. Maybe I'll actually be active if people follow me on there, or I'll still just not use Twitter at all. So totally up to you people, but subscribe or like or do whatever YouTube people do. Yeah, so that wraps this up. Hopefully you all have enjoyed, and until next time, everyone, cheers.